just a little bit about how we do what we do. This is a push-pull chart, and we talk about return on investment that we make in the participants as well as the employees. It starts off with people seeking jobs. The next frame is where we add value. Then comes our outcomes, and the output is businesses like you all get great employees, and people get a good job. Some of our employee-based solutions, I'll spend a little time on this slide. We recruit and source applicants and participants. We pre-screen for minimum requirements based on the employer's request. We customize hiring events for qualified candidates, and we have access to state databases of participants as well as community partners. We also train and retain. Rapid Response is a federally mandated program that we execute on behalf of the 4 regions: Tulsa, Pawnee, Osage, and counties. And what Rapid Response is, in the event of a reduction in force, we come in and offer a workshop to employees that includes everything for job preparedness, like resume writing, placement services, and insurance information, how to file unemployment insurance, how to navigate COBRA and health insurance. And we have these workshops at the request of employees or when we get a warn notification. That also includes layoff aversion. In the event you're a manufacturer and you have a line that's shutting down, we come in and pay for training for employees to learn a new piece of equipment or a new line, so it will prevent them from being laid off. We also cover Trade Adjustment Act, which is jobs that have been outsourced overseas. One of the unique ways we're using that lately is in oil and gas, where the jobs have not necessarily gone offshore, but dumping of foreign oil has caused a surplus in the market and resulted in layoffs. We provide customized training for your workforce. An example of that is we had an employer who had a machine that was used for purpose A, but the machine was multifaceted and had other alternatives. We were able to train the employees to use that machine to make safety devices for the coronavirus. We also have a lot of labor market information at your disposal if you want to know what type of people are getting paid what, or just who's in the workforce. We also provide professional development workshops and resources. We also provide financial subsidies. Work opportunity tax credit is for hiring individuals that have faced significant barriers to employment. And the federal government has a list of those individuals, and we can provide resources for that. Federal bonding, in the instance where employees need to be bonded, we also can provide financial support for that. Let's talk about subsidized employment opportunities. There's a 26-week maximum. We have 2 types of programs: work experience program and on-the-job training program. Work experience program is primarily for in-school and out-of-school youth. 100% of the wages are paid up to 6 weeks. And what it does, it gives students experience in the workforce. There's limited liability, and we're utilizing this lately with providing college graduates with internships at businesses to get them some experience on their resume and potentially a job. We also have on-the-job training where we can pay up to 50% of the salary of a new employee. We can customize that training to your needs. And there's a lot of advantages you get to try before you buy. It gives the individual an opportunity to be in the workforce. What's the catch? You would be surprised at how many employers think it's too good to be true. There are a couple of caveats, but I think they're very reasonable. Mentoring must be a component of the WEX program, the work experience program, and you must provide feedback on the individual to the business services representative, which is one of my employees. If you get training for OJT, the position must be in demand in the local market, and the expectation is that you'll retain 80% of the OJT participants. So what are we doing and how we're executing this? We're now changing the focus of our organization from quantitative, how many people do you get in jobs, to qualitative, how close are those jobs to providing a family sustainable wage that will really help the trajectory of a family break a cycle. We're embarking on some Lean Six Sigma activities to streamline our processes and increase our customer satisfaction. That's both the client and the participant, and our profitability, which we measure by how many businesses that we help and how many employees that we help. We have increased focus on internships and apprenticeships. Apprenticeships are really more so a guarantee of a job. Internships, we talked a little bit about, and how we're executing that is we have some college graduates who we have paired with some nonprofits for the COVID virus. Say a marketing graduate to a nonprofit who has to communicate what their new plan is and had no ability to hire or no financial ability to hire a marketing person. We're doing that with a lot of college graduates. We have one in our office. And we have done some labor arbitrage in a humanitarian way where Food Bank of Oklahoma needed people. We provided folks to them. Also, the Tulsa Dream Center, we provided work experiences employees to them. So we're mixing it up a lot and trying to help both the community and individuals. How do you get in touch with us? How do you start the process? This is this slide, and I'm the director. I have two business service representatives, and I believe you will be getting our one-page summary of what we do and how to contact us to all the distribution. Any questions?
I don't have a question necessarily. I just think it's really interesting. We have an intern that's coming in September. And I had the discussion with several people about how we might be able to get some financial assistance because, you know, with aviation being down the tubes, along with a lot of different industries, our revenues is pretty tight. And I didn't even know about this program, and nobody I talked to told me about this program. So I love it, and I look forward to sharing it with other people around here. So thank you.
Well, feel free to contact me, because if they don't start till September, we may be able to help. I started with the organization probably 3 weeks ago after spending 35 years in the IT industry, specifically aviation.
Oh, wow.
Running the data centers for Sabre and American Airlines. So very familiar with that industry. But what I find is this is probably the best kept, unfortunately, the best kept secret in Tulsa. So feel free to pass it on. And again, you'll be getting a one-pager, and make sure you share that with your friends.
I will. Thank you.
I will say, Wes, I'm talking about it everywhere I go. I don't want it to be a secret. I want people to know. I want our businesses to know.
Thank you, Rue. I mean, and I'll make one last comment on the rapid response layoff process. When I was with Hewlett Packard, we spent millions of dollars as a corporation doing what this organization does for free to help employees find alternative arrangements for employment. So
That's great.
we're here, and thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Wes. And really, that's the point of this. We, in some of our other presentations to employers along that US 169 corridor, talking about transit, we had a lot of good feedback about what is available from our workforce providers, and a lot of it seemed new and different. And so we did want to just kind of convene this to help folks out. And we are recording today so that we'll be able to distribute this more broadly and make it available. Next up, we have Cherokee Nation. Oh, yes, thanks, Wes. We have next up is Cherokee Nation Businesses, and Diane Kelly is here to speak for them. And Diane, I think you're on mute right now. Can you unmute your?
Yeah, I'm trying. It keeps
Okay, great.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better.
Okay, very good. I've got Hunter Palmer on here with me, and he's the manager of economic development. Actually, the Cherokee Nation, through our business enterprises, asked our workforce team to start looking at ways in which we could work in partnership with them on attracting businesses to the area here in Oklahoma back probably about 10 or 12 years ago. So for the last 10 years, we've been working in economic development along with workforce. And I oversee the training programs that are 2 weeks up to 2 years. And anything past 2 years, I toss those over to our education director, and they go over to higher ed. But we do jobs and we do training in career services. We have probably the second largest department inside Cherokee Nation next to our health department because we have close to 2,000 participants that we work with at any given time. We've got a staff of probably around 300 that work in the 14 county area of Northeast Oklahoma. We've got 13 field offices. And we also operate a Job Corps. We have one of 3 Job Corps centers in the state of Oklahoma, and we've operated that for about 40 years. Our mission is basically the same as Wesley's. Most of our grants are workforce related. I sit on the workforce boards for Northeast Oklahoma, Northeast and Eastern. I was on the strategic work group for with all 3 of the groups here in Northeast Oklahoma at one time when we were working on strategic planning. Economic development is an area that Hunter was put in charge of, and he has a staff that works hand in hand with all of our other programs in pulling together groups when we do job fairs. Now with the pandemic, we've had to convert back to doing some virtual type job fairs or drive-by job fairs and recruitment fairs. And we're working right now with Ottawa County, Delaware County, and Craig County and doing a regional recruitment fair during the end of August and September. And we're doing virtual. I think the state workforce is working with us on this through Michelle Bish and the state workforce. And we've also got the Career Tech Centers working with us. So there's a conglomerate of all of us. We're doing regionalism, and we're also doing partners to put these things together. When you look at Oklahoma, we're up in the northeast corner of Oklahoma. We touch part of Tulsa. We have an office located at 10837 East Marshall, which is right across the street from our business enterprises. And then we also have an office in Verdigris, which is between Catoosa and Claremore. And those 2 offices work hand in hand with recruiting people for all of our programs. All the programs that Wesley talked to you about, we have the identical same programs here. Most of them are geared for Native Americans, although we do have some grants that are not just strictly Native America. Anybody can apply for them. We have a reentry program. I know the governor has released several prisoners from the state penal system, and any of them that are tribal members can come here and we assist them with trying to get them in housing, get them in training, get them in jobs. We also have a dislocated worker grant, which is through the United States Department of Labor. We have an opioid grant. This is for anybody who was affected by the opioid addiction or anybody in their family. We have tribal dollars that we get through our enterprises that are strictly for tribal members. And then we have COVID disaster monies that we're using right now for some of the training for anybody that was affected by the COVID pandemic. These are in addition to the workforce dollars that we get. And we operate several learning centers, GED, testing sites. We have 3 of the testing sites in the state of Oklahoma where we can actually test for anything besides just GED. Anybody that's looking at their teacher certification or principal or superintendent, they can go to one of our testing sites and get their certification testing there. We work hand in hand with businesses through the State Department of Commerce. The Commerce Group may contact us and say there's a business that's wanting to buy a building, they want to locate. Sometimes they contact us, sometimes they contact the Tulsa Regional Chamber, sometimes it's the Governor's Office, State Department of Commerce, and if it's in our area, the business enterprises through Chuck Garrett and his team can sometimes come up with some startup cost, and they usually work with the business on the front end, and then we come in on the back end where we're actually working with them as far as recruiting their labor force and working with them on their job descriptions, trying to work with all the partners here in Northeast Oklahoma and bring them to the table to assist us. We do not do anything by ourselves. Although we could, we've got the manpower to do it, we prefer to give everybody a piece of the pie because our strength is in numbers. And as you pointed out a while ago, Alexis, you didn't know about some of these things. There are a lot of resources out there, and when you partner and we all come together, there's no reason for a business not to want to be here in Oklahoma because of the tax incentives, the tax credits, and all of the great things that we can do here in Oklahoma that you can't do in some of these other states. And I think when you put us all together, we can put together a presentation that can woo a business to want to come here. And I think that when you talk about economic development, workforce is a big key. And there's all of us working with the career techs and bringing everybody together with the things that they can take advantage of through either the TIPS program at the career tech or the tax incentives for tax incentives for Native Americans or minority businesses. So there's a lot of great things going on out here in Oklahoma, and we just need to do a better job of selling it to these businesses to want to come here. And I think with all the stuff that's going on nationwide, I think we're going to see a lot more businesses wanting to come here to the central part of the United States because of what we actually do and what we represent. But Hunter has put together a presentation, and I'm going to turn it over to him and let him go through that with you. Hunter.
Can you guys hear me all right?
Good. Yes.
I'm Hunter Palmer. I'm the Manager of Economic Development for Cherokee Nation Career Services. So it's nice to meet all of you that I haven't met yet. I see some familiar faces and I see some new faces. So like Diane mentioned, you know, we do a lot of the same programs, the exact same programs as the state workforce and the Tulsa workforce and Oklahoma Works. And we typically love collaborating with all our regional partners to make the best out of all of our programs and services. And like I mentioned, the more partners we can include into a project or a business, the more successful we can make that business in our efforts to supply a skilled and a workforce to them that keeps them in our region, because the last thing we want is them not to be satisfied with the workforce and that's coming out and them wanting to leave. So, like the mission statements, our goal is to develop, encourage individuals to achieve and maintain work habits and skills that promote employability and self-sufficiency through programs that encompass education, training, rehabilitation, supportive services, and economic development. a lot of companies that are in Northeast Oklahoma, they're pretty familiar with some of our programs, but a lot of new ones that come in, or a lot of ones that haven't really worked with us. I mean, they just don't know about all the things that we can offer. Like Wesley mentioned, it's kind of a lot of secrets that we don't want to keep. You know, we want to let everybody know that we can help them with their business retention and expansion. We can help them with business startups. We can help them with the recruitment, job fairs, and resource fairs. And there's a lot of programs that we offer, like wage reimbursement, on-the-job training that we can offer, work experience, and things of that nature. So go ahead and go on to the next slide there. And just so you guys know, you've probably seen the different things that have come out recently in the news. You know, there may be some things out in the media that's called the Cherokee Nation Reservation. So we, like I mentioned, we cover 14 counties of Northeast Oklahoma, primarily. We do have some tribal programs that are strictly within those boundaries. We do have federal grants that go throughout the whole state or throughout the 4 counties surrounding our location there. And we have over 28 to 30 different employment and training programs where we can serve our clients. So, and go ahead and skip past that one as well. One of our most important things that we offer is on-the-job training for employers. Essentially what that is we can find skilled labor for you and send them over to you to a company to hire. And what we provide is on-the-job training, which includes 50% reimbursement for up to 4 months. And you use all your equipment on site. You use one of your managers on site that can train them how they want to be trained. Like Wesley mentioned before, we just ask that you provide some feedback and on how the client's doing, and if there's anything that we can assist to help them better themselves or better the company, we do our best to do that. And go ahead and go to the next one there. So recently, the principal chief, Chuck Hoskin Jr., announced the tribe is dedicating more than $7 million in funding to increase career training and employment opportunities for Cherokees seeking relief through COVID-19. This was a big announcement here recently that he worked with our office on developing certain programs and services that we can expand throughout the 14 counties in our reservation area. Some of those are included vocational training, work experience, summer youth, GED, and even more. So employers right now, we can help individuals with a number of areas on getting people the skills needed for the jobs of the future and the jobs now. And so we recently, if you go to the next slide here, we recently rolled out a plan for increasing our vocational training and utilizing those to get the clients the skills they need for job opportunities. So you can see there's a list of high demand occupations from manufacturing to construction to healthcare, IT, and other things of that nature. And we can start helping them getting to the training schools and the career techs to start their training to get more skilled and be more employable. And that's our goal of our Respond, Recover, and Rebuild, rebuilding the workforce that may have been laid off during the COVID pandemic, that may have cut their hours short on business closures and things of that nature. So we're taking anybody that has been affected by that to try to put them back in the workforce. Another popular thing that we do for some of our partner business or new business that want to come in, we can help work in conjunction with the state, in conjunction with our local, regional economic development organizations and workforce offices, and doing job fairs and recruitment events for our companies. Whenever company wants to come in, the last thing they want to do is take whatever employees they have and try to go out and recruit on their own and waste that time whenever they can use us partners like Tulsa Workforce, Cherokee Nation, Goodwill, and us combine our services and our resources to help the business out. And because that's kind of what we all do already, is helping clients get job opportunities. So that's kind of some of the things that we do is coordinate job fairs and with our partners and help the business with those opportunities. And like I said, we all offer a variety of services from work experience, on-the-job training, business expansion, retention, business surveys. Like Wesley mentioned before, if a company needs help with getting some demographic information around their area in the workforce, we can provide that. So Career Readiness Act was a act that was passed this last year by the principal chief and the administration that's essentially doubling our vocational training and customized training dollars from $1 million to $2 million. And so this is going to be helping us develop new programs, customized programs to help get people trained and straight to job opportunities. And like I said, we're focusing on high demand occupations. And here's just a couple examples, construction trades, carpentry, electrical, masonry, plumbing. That's one of our first classes that we offered. We've got a number of other training programs, lineman, medical, that we're pumping out, and we're seeing great results from those. And you can go ahead and go through those there. One of our most popular right now is our high voltage lineman training school that we started here in Tahlequah. We currently have 18 to 20 students in there now, and we're seeing electrical companies all across Northeast Oklahoma calling to inquire about when are these students going to be done, because we have a need for these guys once they're complete with the program. And so high voltage lineman is a high demand occupation right now in all of Oklahoma and all of the United States. So we're excited about this new program and where it's come from this year, and providing additional workforce to Oklahoma. Okay. Is there any questions of Diane and I on? Like I said, we do a lot of the same programs as the state workforce. We do have some federal grants that cover more counties than our tribal counties. And the next slide will have our contact if you have any specific questions you'd like to contact us on.
I just have one thing to add. When you were talking about on-the-job training, we've got 5 on-the-job training programs. So when it comes to manufacturing and jobs and recruitment of jobs for the area, we have a lot that we can offer in terms of working with a major business. And we would hope that if you know of any business out there, you can get in contact with us, and we can send one of our job developers there to sit down and explain our contract with them.
If I were like Alexis or somebody located along US 169 and I needed support, I would fall both in the Cherokee Nation or in the area of Workforce Tulsa. Is there some kind of like delta that tells you where to go?
We have a sheet, and I should have probably included it in on this presentation, but I'll be happy to send you a copy of all of our businesses, all of our field offices, and it'll have the address, the telephone number, who you can get a hold of, and then we also have a directory. So if there was some way I can get a copy of everybody that's on this call, we can send you our directory. We can send you where all of our offices are located, and we can send you our work charts so that you know who's over what program. I've got maybe about 13 directors under me.
Okay.
And to maximize what you can get out of the workforce services, it's best to call both, the state workforce and Tulsa workforce and Cherokee Nation separately, so that you can get the both of what we offer. Because they may have some clients that they can't serve, and we may have some clients that we can't serve. And typically, when that happens, we can refer them back to each other or to the proper. Because we typically know, we share some of the same we owe dollars, so we know what their requirements are and typically what ours are, and so we can refer clients back and forth to make sure they're getting to the place that they can qualify for services for.
Great. Well, let's move on now. Thank you so much, Hunter and Diane. I really appreciate you guys and all you offer. I learned a lot already. So we're going to go on next and hear from Sabrina Ware with Goodwill Industries. And Sabrina, if you want to share your screen, or I can share your PDF.
I think, could you share the PDF by chance? Let's see if I can do it. Is everybody seeing it? Can you see it?
I think
Yes.
I think I have it right now, Sabrina.
Okay. I'll let you drive then.
Okay.
First of all, good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to know that we're kind of all in the same ballpark. We're talking about the best kept secret because I feel like Goodwill Industries of Tulsa fits one of those categories as well. So I'm happy to talk today about on behalf of Goodwill and what we do. So are you on the first screen by chance? Yeah, so yeah, no problem. So go ahead to the second slide. In 2019, just to kind of give you a full grasp of what we do is that we've basically trained over 4,100 people just last year through all of our support services and employment services at Goodwill. And that may just be an eye-opening number to you, but there's just a lot of various different ways that we touch people as far as employment and training and support services, which I'll take you through today. Next slide. So this is our mission, and basically we do it in 3 ways. We want to provide work opportunities, job training, and support services for people with disabilities. And I think when people think about Goodwill, they think about only people with disabilities. Well, I'm here to blow your mind because we do people with anybody who has a disability for sure and they want to go to work, but anybody that looks like you and me and they may have an employment barrier, which just simply means I don't know where the jobs are, or I'm out of work now because I've been furloughed or laid off, and I need to know where the jobs are now. So we're here to help you or get you training so that you can be more qualified. Next slide. This is how we work, and I really like this slide because it kind of gives you a visual on how Goodwill Industries of Tulsa works, where helping people find employment from our stores, which a lot of people know about, right? You know that when you donate stuff to Goodwill, then we put it in our local stores. And that's the grandma part of it all. But here's the blowing of your mind, because when you buy any item from Goodwill Industries, what you're doing is you're supporting the mission, which I call the heartbeat of Goodwill, so that we can offer training to low or no cost to anybody who wants to find employment and better their life. So basically, we are bringing good right on home to you. Next slide. How do we do it? Well, I am the director of the Tulsa Works Career Academy and Job Connection. So I'm going to talk about the academy and how we work. We offer training programs in these areas: IT, forklift and material handling, unarmed private security, and hospitality. Under IT, the digital services that we offer are person who has no training or no idea about the computer and how it works. So we offer digital readiness. And because of COVID, we're now being able to offer these programs with the exception of forklift and private security, rather online or in person. So digital readiness is a training program that we offer to the new user. IT fundamentals is another program that we offer to a person who wants to know more about IT as the security and understand how to set your privacy settings, things of that nature. Just the basic software and hardware of the computer. Then after that, we also offer workplace computer skills. So that's just the Microsoft Office products and Google Docs, being able to do that. So if you work in any of our jobs, we got to be able to manipulate or go around the computer. So being able to understand those kinds of forums, we actually teach this right here at Goodwill, also online as well as in person. And then lastly, and the one I like to shout about a lot, is the Google IT Support Professional Program. That gives you a national credential on working in IT under Tier 1 support. So we're actually been able to help a person go through our training program online or in person to obtain this national credential to work in IT Tier 1 support. And the program has been doing well. We've been doing it since 2018, and we have a partnership with Google, yes, the big Google, and Goodwill Industries International. And so different Goodwills around the country have this particular credential that they can offer and train. But we were the first to do it across the country to get it done in 2018. So we're glad that we're offering this right now. The other programs that we offer are the forklift material handling, as you see. So we have 4 vehicles in which that we teach here at Goodwill. So just like when driving a car, you can't do it from one of the seats that you're sitting in right now. You've got to get in the car and get behind the steering wheel. The same thing goes for forklift training. We have a warehouse on our campus here. So we teach on the lift truck, both propane and electric. We also have a stand-up. We also have a clamp truck, so like if you work at Pepsi Cola, where you see the fork hands, we actually have clamps that move the product around this way. And then my newest baby in the forklift world is that we just purchased an order picker. And so if you're in material handling and warehouse assembly type of industry, being able to learn how to work and handle an order picker is very important. So we are the first in the state of Oklahoma, is my understanding, to offer it using gamification or virtual reality. So without going up way high in the stratosphere of our warehouse, you can actually do by simulation, be able to raise yourself up and learn how to do it safely, and then we can unhook from that computer and have you drive around in our warehouse to learn exactly how to manipulate and handle this order picker. So I'm excited as I'll get out to get it going. We just received it in May, and then COVID happened, and so we just finished our training on it so that we can actually teach it, and we're going to launch that at the latter part of this month. Unarmed Private Security is our night class that we offer, and is not an online class, obviously, but we do that in the last 2 weeks of every month, and we teach unarmed private security so what someone can become CLEAT certified. The state of Oklahoma dictates that you become licensed, and so we will help to prepare you to become licensed. And because of COVID, again, we've had to be able to proctor and do those exams on site, and you're able to do that with our assistance. But what I think also helps with that is the fact that we'll help you fill out the CLEAT application, because it can be very daunting. And so we'll help you, assist you with that. And then we help you get before employers to help you find employment in that particular industry. Lastly is our hospitality training program. We teach in 4 areas: guest room attendant, front desk, banquet server, and then intro to management. Again, before COVID, it was not an online class. We are able now to offer this as an online class as well as in person, and get you the national certification in the American Hotel and Lodging Association, so that you'll have that. So if you hear a theme going across this, it is a theme that we want to offer a credential. We want to offer programs that are going to be low or no cost to the client. We also want to see that person working in the industry, and we're going to support you all the way through that. And so those are the training programs that we offer in Tulsa Works. Next slide. And I did talk about Google already, but this is the one as offered the Coursera platform, again, offering that national certification. And that's open to anyone that wants to do it. And right now, because of our partnership with Google and Coursera, where we're able to offer that to anyone that's looking to be in that industry and do it for that person free. Next slide. So if you are an employer and you're looking for opportunities to even volunteer, I thought I'd put this in this presentation, that every month, as we're preparing our clients to not only obtain the training and get the credential, but we're also wanting to train them on how it is to be a good job seeker and be a qualified job seeker. So at the end of every month on a Friday, we offer mock interviews. So any employer or anybody on this call today, if you'd like to offer 1 hour of your time on the last Friday of every month, we do virtual mock interviews. And we'll set that up with you. And it's just I think it's a good feeling that you know that you're going to assist somebody to help them with the scary part of looking for a job and the interviewing skills. We're able to do that every month without fail. So those are the dates. And this is the contact person, Montana Nanny, at his email address there, or just contact me and we can get you set up. Next slide. For also our employers and our job seekers, the other part of my long title is I also am responsible for Job Connection. What purely Job Connection is just a place for job seekers can go and look for a job and say they already have the training, they already have the credential, but I just don't know where the jobs are. We have 2 locations, one on our Southwest Boulevard location, and then one on 17th and Yale. It is purely just to come in and look for employment or get assistance in looking for employment. Or if you don't have a computer at your house, then you can also come in and do that. But remember, COVID is now our new reality, and so coming in was difficult. Well, when COVID first started, what we decided to do, and we had to shut down our doors, I believe we were the first to open up a virtual job board during COVID time, and it still exists today, and where employers can come and they can post their job openings with us free of charge. And job seekers can come on our job website and they can look for where the jobs are. And so we were very happy to be able to push that out as quick as we could, and that still exists today. And they're averaging about 500 and some odd clicks a day, or not a day, but a month, that people are coming in and looking at the website and seeing where the jobs are. The other thing that Job Connection offers is hiring events, exclusive hiring events for any company that wants to come in and just talk about what their company is like to work for. We will do a mini hiring event for you where only the people that are interested in working for you are going to be gathered either virtually or in person, and we'll put on a hiring event for you so that you can talk about your company, why it's great to work for your company, what the culture is like when you're going to be working there, and then of course how to apply. We find, and what we've heard from our employer partners, is that this has been something that they've enjoyed, and they're using it just each and every month. So each of my Job Connection locations are charged to do at least 2 hiring events a month. So at the end of the month for August, Macy's is going to be with us, and we're going to be doing a virtual hiring event for them. In July, just to try it out and see if we could actually do it, we actually kind of had a mini job fair where Aon and Walmart Distribution, Sherwood Construction, People Ready, Owl Night Security, we gathered them virtually, so the employer could stay right there at their desk and talk about what their job openings are, but more importantly, you can talk about the culture and what it is to work at that particular company. And it was a learning experience for us. It was another learning experience for the employer to be able to talk about their company in such a virtual way. But it came out as a win for the job seeker as well as the employer. So I'm very happy to know that we can do it and do it well. And so we're going to be actually having another event at the end of this month, and in the fall. Look for it. Just stay tuned. We're going to be doing a big job fair, again, a virtual job fair in the fall, to further help our employers get the right candidate and the qualified candidate for their openings. We talked a little bit today about partnership. And I tell you, if it hadn't have been for the partnerships for our employers and some of the people that you see on this line today, we would not be able to do it well. And I agree with Diane that we can't do it without each other's help. And so being able to partner with the people that we see on the screen and those that are not on the screen really helps for us to make great job matches for the city of Tulsa. There is my information on the next slide, how to get in contact with me via email. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, well, thank you very much, Michelle, for this opportunity.
Sure. I actually had a question. If I had an employee that needed training, could I come to you?
You can come to me either by email or give me a shout. Give me a call at 918-584-7291, and I'll send you our information. You just have to be 18 years of age to come to our training programs. Actually 17, because we've been working with the schools. A desire to go to work, and I have to say that because you have to have a desire to go to work. And we also do drug testing. Our employers have said that this is something they like, and it's an investment that we make on top of them coming. We do drug testing because you need to be drug free and ready to go to work when we have people apply to our different partners. And we'll do a background check, not to screen necessarily, but it is for us to know what background problems that you might have so that we can steer you in the right direction, and then be able to talk about it confidently when you're in an interview and say the things you need to say, and don't say the things that you don't need to say.
Sabrina, I have a question about your Fleet Certified training program.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a charge or a fee for taking the classes?
Yes, for our unarmed private security for phase 1 and phase 2, the charge is $75 today. By September 1, that'll go up to $100 to get into the phase 1 and phase 2 CLEAT certification. For forklift, there is a charge for that. It's $35 right now, and come September 1, it will go up to $50 for the forklift. All the other training programs are free to the client, because we'll find either working with Workforce or other places to get them in, or because we're a United Way agency, we'll get them in. We don't want that to be the barrier for getting them into our programs.
We have several people in the Rogers and Tulsa area that come to us for that certification, and a lot of times we will refer them to the Career Tech centers. And it might be that Career Tech isn't doing phase 2 this semester. They may be doing it next semester. So I appreciate the information, and I would really like to get your phone number so that way we can make some of those referrals for some of these people that are having a difficult time getting in some of those classes.
Well, we'll definitely connect, Diane, and I hope, Michelle, that you'll give out some of our information to everybody on the call so that we can share emails and telephone numbers, because I think we can help each other out. I'd be happy to do that for you, Diane.
Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, guys. Next up, we're going to hear from Tulsa Community Work Advance, and Amber Smith is here for TCWA. Amber, I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, so my name is Amber Smith. I'm the Business Services Manager here at Tulsa Community Work Advance. TCW, we are a proven model that helps businesses by expanding access to qualified and skilled workers. We are funded to help businesses and residents thrive and grow. All of the services that I'm going to talk about today, they are at no cost to the residents and to the employers. So TCW is focused on bridging that skills gap. So we know that businesses need skilled workers with technical skills, soft skills, and those individuals who are motivated and driven. Those technical skills they need to perform the job. They need those industry certifications. Those soft skills, they've got to have those. They've got to be motivated. They have to have the communication skills to communicate effectively on the job. Those residents, we have found that some of them lack those skills to fill the jobs. So we offer that industry knowledge and career pathways. So TCW brings the two together to bridge that skills gap between the businesses and the residents by offering that technical skills and certifications, as well as those soft skills, thus ensuring that our candidates and the residents are qualified to meet your needs in the business. So our model focuses really on serving power sectors, providing that training and helping those businesses and in-demand sectors in the Tulsa area. Those sectors include manufacturing, transportation, healthcare, professional services such as information technology and accounting. A few examples of our trainings include CNC machining, welding, shipping, receiving, warehousing, and that manufacturing and transportation side. So we will refer those trained and qualified candidates directly to the business. So TCW services to businesses, like I mentioned, are done at no cost. So we will provide that customized training. So we listen to the businesses, what they need that is relevant to the skills and certifications for their specific business. The qualified candidates, we have a pipeline of screened, qualified, and certified candidates that we are able to refer them directly to you, again, at no cost. So this will be able to help cut down on your recruiting costs. And then those retained workers, with our ongoing soft skills training and retention and the coaching that the candidates receive, helps retain that worker and provide an overall successful business and transaction. So by filling the pipeline, we offer, or we start by online ads, social media, and we do have a strong word of mouth. We do pre-screen and pre-vet the candidates. They are assessed in math, reading, following verbal instructions. They all go through an interview. We're going to ask them those tough questions. We are really gauging for that motivation and that drive, so they are able to be successful for the business. We will provide that career readiness training. So you've heard me talk about the soft skills or professional skills. So this is where they learn that effective communication, that teamwork, emotional intelligence skills, conflict resolution. Again, they're learning how to effectively communicate in the business. And then the technical skills training, very short term, customized training. Again, we listen to the businesses and what they need as far as technical training and certifications. All of our trainings are done at either Tulsa Tech and or Tulsa Community College, and they're done in in-demand sectors with those industry certifications. So in addition, I also wanted to briefly mention a couple of other programs that is offered by TCW. Next up, that is our program that's operated by TCW that assists young adults 18 to 24 years of age with career exploration and career pathways, as well as training and placement services. Due North is a program that specifically serves the North Tulsa area. So residents and businesses in the North Tulsa area, we provide the area businesses with skilled talent by providing North Tulsa residents with training, skills, and coaching to help find that gainful and meaningful employment. So if you're interested in learning any more about our programs, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Great, Amber, thank you so much. Any questions for Tulsa Community Work Advance?
Not a question, but I will tell you that Tulsa Work Advance and Goodwill been partners for a while now, and it's been a great partnership. And so we support each other on our endeavors to help get people employed and working.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Well, if no more questions for Tulsa Community Work Advance, then Amber, we'll pass it over to Ted with Tulsa Transit to wrap us up for today.
Hey, can I share my screen?
You can.
Can I just do that?
You can press the share icon at on the bar. There you go.
Can you all see a map?
I can see the map, yes.
Okay. All right. I don't have a lot to say really, except I would like to find a way to bring all this good stuff that you all have offered and working with the employers, figure out how to connect the dots. My job is kind of connecting dots. And this map, if you can see it pretty well, is kind of the concept that we want to look for in terms of providing a bus service from North Tulsa to the US 169 corridor. Let me kind of tell you how we're thinking this would work. We have some flexibility in how we do this, but let me just tell you our basic concept, and then I'd like to suggest how we might tie everything together. First of all, we would start in the 36th and Peoria area. That location's a bit soft. We might actually want to start in Turley area up north. But right now we're looking at 36th and Peoria. That's what we call a sub-hub. We have a number of bus routes that gather there. The route would take Peoria out to Pine, out to the 169 corridor and pretty much go along the corridor, ending at either Macy's or Nordstrom. The blue line stops at Macy's, but it could go farther than that. If you notice, there are a couple of yellow dots. What we're thinking of doing is partnering with a group called Pelivan. They do work for the Cherokee Nation, so our Cherokee Nation associates here might recognize the name. They would meet our bus at these yellow dots and take the riders wherever they want to go within a 5 or 10 minutes of this particular dot. So the Port of Catoosa employment is within that envelope. So a Pelivan would meet our vehicle at 36 and Garnett, and if 5 people wanted to go out to the port, they would say, we want to go out to the port. So they would take the individuals out to the port and distribute them at their employers. We want to use the van because we think it's more efficient since the number of employers out here is pretty widespread and it's a low density area. It might be more efficient to kind of do an on-demand service than trying to have one of our big buses hit every single potential employment area. This way we hit the main areas, and whatever area we don't hit, the Pelivan would take them out there. So based on some survey work we did about a year ago, maybe it's more than a year ago, we know that the primary shift times of the major employers in this area, and I believe it's like 6 or 6:30 in the morning and ending around 3 o'clock, we would time the service to meet those shift times so that we would get people in time for the beginning of the shift. Now, some of the employers who are more downstream, if you will, they might get there a little earlier and be picked up a little later, but we're trying to meet that primary shift start time. We picked the North Tulsa area mainly because it's traditionally been a high unemployment area. And it's an area that this employment corridor has not drawn from very much. It's drawn from areas of southwest Owasso and maybe around eastern Tulsa, but not too much from North Tulsa from the maps that we've looked at. So I'm hoping the North Tulsa area is a untapped labor market for your employers in the 169 area. So what we would like to see happen is, and I was really gratified by what Sabrina says about holding job fairs and connecting people, and I suspect all of you do stuff like that. It would be nice to create a recruitment mechanism in North Tulsa, along with the employers being present, and not only talking about the employment opportunities, but also how they would get there. And we're in the process of branding this service. We've got a couple of ideas of what to call it, but I want to give it a unique brand so that it's distinctive from our regular service. So that way it makes it easier for the employee to know what to catch and where to go and have it worked out. So I believe we can start this service relatively quickly, but we would be very interested in creating a unified approach to recruiting people. If the people need training, kind of working on that in some way. We have our regular bus system that we can tie into all this if that helps. And then partnering with Pelivan to help us with the last and first mile transportation. And then working with the employers. If you're all in a position to help subsidize a bus pass or help provide marketing information or be flexible on work shifts a little bit, if we can kind of put our heads together, we would be very interested in creating what we think might be a unique and maybe compelling public-private partnership that ties together workforce development, transportation, and employment opportunities and targeting an area that has traditionally needed economic development. And maybe this is a way to help that community continue to develop. And one other quick thing about this map, there's a jagged black line. That's the distance the van can travel in 5 minutes. Actually it's 10 minutes. And the port just falls within that 10-minute range. So that's pretty much what I got. If you have any questions or comments, that's the proposition we would like to you all to consider.
Thanks, Ted. And how would you like, I know we've been working on this for about a year with employers, but as far as workforce providers, what are you asking from them today?
Well, I like to put our heads together. I'm not sure what the exact employment needs are of the employers. I'll just guess that there are a lot of warehouse distribution employees. I don't want to, I don't know what skill level those people are, what the employees would be, and whether that fits with the workforce development mission or not. But to the extent there's a nexus of all those skills, I would like to figure out a way to create a recruitment process in North Tulsa that feeds people to the bus route or feeds people to the employers, with the bus route being a component of that. Certainly if the employee has their own means of travel, that's fine, but to the extent that we can be helpful. So what I'm looking for is if there's a way for the employers to communicate what their needs are, and presuming the workforce people can help fill those needs, can we create some sort of a recruitment mechanism in North Tulsa? And I will not presume to tell anybody what that mechanism looks like. I don't know if it's a job fair. I don't know what it looks like, but I would like to figure that out and then have the bus system be part of that recruitment effort. So
Hey, Ted.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Hey, Ted, this is Wes Mitchell. I'd definitely like to have my team partner with you on that, because transportation is a key barrier for us from the location you're starting in to the location you are finishing. So I would love to have my team work with you on that.
I'm going to also key into that as well. It is something that we all could need to talk about, because we are the workforce arm, but if we don't have transportation, it doesn't work for those who need it. So I would love for us to, and I would even volunteer to host such meeting. So I would like to get involved with that, Ted, as much as possible.
Yeah, I would love that partnership.
Absolutely.
And Michelle, I thought we were going to try to organize something with the workforce people. Is that still in development, or did I imagine that?
No, that absolutely is in development, and this is kind of part of that recruiting. So I appreciate that.
And I don't know if we have very many employers on the line, but what do you guys think about this? Is this something that would be appealing to you at all?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And Ted, this is Hunter with Cherokee Nation. We have a Tulsa office that's right in that corridor, right next to the Amazon and Greenhack location there. So we have kind of a central location over on the east side of Tulsa. And when you talk about going to the Port of Catoosa, we also have the Hard Rock Hotel Casino that has all the hospitality jobs. I'm sure they would love to have an opportunity to get involved as well, as far as making sure if there's options for individuals to help with transportation needs. So
okay.
Yeah, we'd love to participate and be involved.
Well, thanks, Hunter. That sounds great. So Michelle, it sounds like we need to get together and figure out how we pull these pieces together. I know buses, but I don't know how to recruit people to go to work. So
We know how to do that, Ted. And I was actually talking to the Port of Catoosa workforce folks the other day, and they were just thrilled because most of their shifts line up at the same time.
Yeah.
So this will be perfect, right?
You're talking to the
often
right
does that
people.
happen in my business, not too often.
That's great. Well, I do want to respect you guys' time, and you've already given us over an hour today, so I'm going to let everybody get off if you like. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will have this recorded so we can share it out. It sounds like one of our next steps is to reconvene our workforce providers with transit to talk about how we marry up this idea of providing services, but then also recruiting people into those services for transportation and access. Great. Thank you guys so much, and we will talk with you soon.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.